Oh my God. It's almost like the last show ended and the show just began. Hey man, welcome to FatMan Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernard.
Hey!
Hello.
We're back at the cantina. It's a Friday night. No one's paid. No one's working. Shit's gone weird. It's another summer 2020 night, ladies and gentlemen, which means we're the only game in town.
What else you gonna do?
Yeah, really. You're home and shit. You're like, it's this or Tiger King again.
Have you ever been on Instagram and it gives you the message you've seen all of the posts?
No.
I hit that once. It was like
You hit the wall?
I hit the wall. I hit the you've seen it all wall. And I'm trying
It just
to get,
says, go out.
we're done here.
Go live a life.
It's like dial 911. Are you okay? And I feel like lots of people are getting there on like the Netflixes and the Peacocks. We can even talk about the
They
Peacock.
just dropped Peacock and recently, and I literally just downloaded it on my Apple TV. And what did I watch tonight? The first thing I rolled on Peacock was Dateline.
Wow.
My wife is a huge true crime person. So, you know, I try to meet her sometimes in her world. I don't like shit like that because I'd rather, you know, like...
Fantasy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a true crime, I want Batman to punch it in the fucking mouth, and that's how it's solved and shit. And he goes to Arkham. But, like, she watches these true crime things. We just watched one where, like, this chick was slowly poisoned with nicotine. Did you even know this was a thing?
No, because, I mean, I knew smoking would kill you, but I didn't know that that was an actionable thing.
This guy would put it in her food, and then he'd put it in her fucking bathtub. He hid it in her salad dressing, and then he put it in her bathtub. So, like, she's constantly fucking soaking in nicotine, and it causes, you know, fucking vomiting and poison. He slowly poisoned her with fucking nicotine. And I'm like, what the fuck would Batman do about that?
It's the very intimate version of poisoning the reservoir, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's like,
No
oh,
smiling fish.
no smiling fish. I'm going to pour this gunk into the fucking
Just a
Gotham
sad
reservoir.
story of a marriage gone south. And I tell you, I don't know why, like, she knows them all. I think she's plotting my death. But as I sit there and watch every one of these, I'm like, why does anybody ever try to commit a murder? Like, you rarely get away with it.
See,
Like,
I would
based
watch-
on Dateline, they never get away with it.
I would watch a true crime show if it was like true Daffy crimes. Like, I don't want murder to be the fucking crime.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a little, like, I was listening to this story, I think it was an article first, but it got turned into a podcast episode about this dude in, I want to say Finland, it's probably not, whatever, but who staged a heist of $1 million worth of exotic rare fishing lures. Because there's an entire fucking like collector's market for these things, and there's some birds that are extinct.
I mean,
but
I
the
know this is
lures are-
wrong, but that's almost like a victimless crime.
It 100%.
I mean, I know somebody lost $1 million worth of lures, but like...
But it's from a museum, and they're insured, and it's just, but it, like, the story's like, huh, you know what? Never knew this was a culture. Never knew that, like, nobody got hurt.
Did somebody get convicted?
Somebody got caught, and there was a sort of process in which he essentially just, like, pled and walked off on some kind of probation. But, like, you don't do hard time
For stealing all those
bird
lures.
feathers. You know, I mean, it's the maple syrup heist thing. That
I bet you those cats do hard times. That happened in Canada, and they take maple syrup fucking seriously.
they do, but
They're like, that's the only thing we put people to death for up here, eh? Commit a murder is fine. Steal the maple syrup, you're going straight to hell, fucker.
but like that kind of shit. Like, if you're gonna tell me about the sweetest crime about dudes who stole a tanker full of maple syrup, I will happily listen to Lester Holt walk me through that story.
Dateline, what would it be called? Dateline, Date Light.
Daylight.
You know what I'm saying? Like stories where they treat it, they give it the same treatment, same structure, same score, but no dire consequences.
If it was just like true crime ? And you have to like wonder if this shit is real. Like, did somebody really steal these fucking exotic fishing lures?
That'd be good, man. If Date Light or if True Crime ? Was every other episode, like you're watching it and it's fucking like, holy shit, man, this is fucking like, did this happen? And then they introduce a character from fiction. So where you're like, oh, fucking the Batman, fuck, this ain't real.
Scooby Doo, the guy's dogs with Scooby Doo.
Yes,
Sure, it was.
just when you're thinking like this shit's real, they're like, and then children in a van with a dog intervened and saved the day. And you're like, you sons of bitches, you got me. And they're like, welcome to Date Laughs with Lester Holt. Lester Holt.
So everything was going swimmingly until Jessica Fletcher showed up. Did she now?
That's all I looked at on Peacock, but it seemed impressive. They had movies too. Like it's I guess that's the NBC Universal app, so all the Universal shit goes there as well.
Some of it, and then some of it's kind of random. Like I was scrolling through, and they're like, "The Matrix trilogy." It's like that's Warner Bros.
Yeah,
like,
that's I too was a little flummoxed by
that's
that.
on your homepage. Like, why are you touting that? But,
Yeah.
okay.
Meanwhile, over on HBO Max, they're like, anyone see the Matrix? Do they have the Matrix as well?
They do. But it seems as if like it's a zoo where some shit's going from one pen to the other pen. Like, why are the rhinos in with the zebras? Well, because the licensing agreements weren't up yet.
Wow, how messy. But Peacock looks all right.
It looks all right. I haven't watched.
There was a few shows that were like made for Peacock that are like ready to go already.
Yeah, Brave New World is their big shiny thing.
What is it?
Based on the Aldous Huxley science fiction novel, written by Grant Morrison, wrote the pilot
The fuck?
for Brave New World. But
Relevant to our
it's
interests.
starring Han Solo himself, Alden Ehrenreich.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
Nice to see him working still. Good actor.
Yeah, he took a little bit of a public quiet time after Solo. Like,
I
he's
mean,
just-
it wasn't his fault.
no, but it's just like he's like, you know what? I don't need to be out in the public ie. I'm gonna just do my shit, make this show, and I'll
He's
come
like,
in.
where can I go to not be seen? I know, Peacock. What did it just launch?
Like 2 days ago, the 15th.
So there was no soft launch prior to this?
Nope. These guys are just coming out of the gate.
They got it all. I'll tell you what I'm going to be fucking using Peacock for tonight, using and abusing it. Go to sleep to Frasier.
Ooh.
They got the Frasiers up there, man. So you
Toss
can
out
just
scrambled
roll them and
eggs.
go to sleep. So fucking like a warm blanket.
I'm gonna watch me a whole lot of Rockford Files.
They have that?
Yeah.
Remember back then when they had like 10 hours just to do the theme song
And like, hey,
before the show began?
guys, we got a Moog, so this is gonna be synthesizer fucking heavy. Just wait.
Oh,
Sorry,
man.
I don't mean to blow out the ears of anybody at home, because I'm sure I just did. Didn't mean it.
But you may have blown out their ears, but you turned some people on, man. You hit the high Moog sound.
The high Moog.
Sound like a fucking tomcat in the back alley. Not this back alley, because this is where you find shit on your way in.
Yeah.
It's not cat shit, I assure you.
No, home human person shit.
It's been a hell of a week.
It's been 5 days since you looked at me.
And holy shit, bare naked Bernard in here. Was it last Friday?
It was last Friday.
So in 1 week, there was the other day. I was like, Marc's like, we doing a show? I was like, I don't know, anything happened? And then in 48 hours, news happened, and suddenly it was worth having a fucking show.
Totes.
We got shit to talk about. Do you have anything that you did this week that's life is starting to fucking numbingly resemble? I know, at the same way everyone's been like, it's the same fucking day, and I've been agreeing up till now, but for me it really hasn't. But now it is starting to take on this kind of
Yeah. What day is it?
sameness. Yeah.
Same day.
My week at least is structured by celebrity show off, the TBS show, because there's a day we have to shoot the short, and there's a day that we have to shoot the stage show. So that, like, basically my Sunday and my Thursday are structured. Everything else is kind of free form. But I've been working on some stuff. I did recording today remotely for Masters of the Universe. All the recording sessions now, you got one person here, one person here, one person there and stuff. The other day we finished up Lena Headey's stuff, which was
Awesome.
she's over in the UK, and so it was like early in the morning for us, like 8 a.m., but whatever time it is over there. I could just listen to her fucking all day long, man. She just like brings it and chews that fucking dialogue, makes it so, like it. Oh, it's so good. No, think of anybody in your life. Put the word Have them say the word wretched. She beats them. The way she's like, wretched. Oh, it's so fucking
How does
good.
wretched have 6 syllables?
I
Well,
know.
the way she does it.
She fucking drags it out. Stephen Root finished up all his Cringer stuff. Absolutely wonderful. Who else? We finished up Chris Wood, all the He-Man Adam stuff. We finished up Sarah, Michelle Gellar for all the Tila stuff. And today was like all Marc. And so all the Skeletor stuff is now recorded. I've heard now all of the scripts brought to life. I've heard the last line of the shows. So it's been fantastic, man. That aspect has been wonderful. And then doing it from home is nuts, because like today while Marc was doing it, I was just eating while it was like eating and watching a movie and shit. This is better than Netflix. And I was
Take
just sitting
that one
there.
again.
Yeah. One more. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear because I was chewing this potato chip dipped in peanut butter. My bad. So there's a bit of that. The Mode 2 proceeds very well. The Powerhouse animation stuff, I've now seen 6 animatics, and fucking they are astounding. So far, so good there. What have you been up to?
This week has been a lot of Zoom action and a lot of moderating of things action. Not for Comic-Con per se, but DC reached out for a couple panels for their DC Fandom.
Are you working the fandom?
I'm working the Fandom. I can't say the panels that I'm moderating.
We'll find you beneath the fandom?
I will be basking under the Fandom.
Wow, man.
Yeah, hopefully not confronted by murder under the
Under the
dome.
fandom.
Under the Fandom. But so like prepping for those things and scheduling and research and watching when
When
I need
is
to watch.
fandom? Do you know?
I believe it's mid-August. But much like I think Comic-Con has been pre-taping a lot of their panels,
Right.
DC's doing the same thing. So yeah, man, it's been fun, but kind of getting back into that moderating saddle of like, all right, I got to conduct this conversation between.
And you're
5
doing
people.
it remotely too.
Remotely via Zoom. So at least the pressure of walking into a room full of 6,000 people isn't there.
Right.
But there's
That's
still
the best part, though.
It is pretty cool. You
Yeah.
know, like it is a poor substitute for Comic-Con.
Still, you were invited. I was not invited under the fandom.
No, but you got to spend some time with Bill and Ted.
I did.
You did.
I was a welcome over at Comic-Con and stuff. I'll be a fandom, a spectator and whatnot, cheering you on from the sidelines. Going, how's the food, Marc?
Yeah. Oh, it's really good here in this green room.
Pass out one of them bat brownies.
But yeah, so a bit of that. A lot of video gaming. This has been a big video game week for me.
Really? What are you playing?
Playing this game called The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, the one that they're making the HBO show.
Correct. They're making, I think the HBO show is very much about the first game, which is great and fantastic. But this is, it's an astounding piece of storytelling. It's more than just hey, the gameplay mechanics are cool and the combat's fun, and this is a very well wrought and incredibly well fashioned kind of treatise on trauma and blame and forgiveness. And I don't know if you know very much about these games at all, but the first game, Last of Us, presents like it's just another zombie game, right? Where there's been an outbreak and things are going bad, and then we're in the post-apocalypse where cities are overgrown and cars don't work and nobody's got gas and you're scavenging for whatever. But it's a story about this dude who gets hired to escort this young girl, 14, 15 years old, from Massachusetts to Chicago, across this sort of hellish wasteland. And what he doesn't know about this job at the beginning is that this is the one person in the entire world so far who's immune to this disease. And so he's got to take her to these doctors who want to synthesize a cure and a vaccine for everybody. A little too timely, whatever.
Yeah, really.
And so, but he wants nothing to do with it. He wants nothing to do with her. And then we begin to realize that their relationship, their own history of what they've gone through. He had a daughter who died early on. And so he begins to sort of cleave to this girl and begins to see her as something of a surrogate. She had shitty relationships with her dad and her parents, and she's been an orphan for a while, and she got to watch her parents die, all of those things that happened. And then it gets to the end of this game, and I'll spoil it only because the game's 6 years old. But you get to the end of the game, and what the big moral decision is he takes her to the doctors who are going to find the cure. But in order to get the cure from her, they have to kill her in the process. Like the whatever's different in her brain, it's just they can't get it out without, unfortunately, dooming her to a very early death. And so he makes this decision to, I'm going to take her out of here by force. I'll kill everybody there if I have to. But she's now my daughter, and I wouldn't allow you to kill my daughter. I will save this one girl instead of 1 million people, because that's a decision a father makes. Like there's no logic, there's no rationale that could convince you that life is this. It's
worth it. Yeah,
it's worth it.
That's pretty beautiful.
It's pretty beautiful, except it's really fucking dark because it makes you, as the player, complicit in what is ultimately a war crime in a weird sort of way. And it makes you kill the doctors who are just fucking doctors to get this girl to safety. It makes you kill everybody in this hospital to get her out of there.
Because otherwise they'll kill you.
Otherwise they'll kill you, they'll kill her, everything's gone to shit.
Remember when all you had to do was just reach the top and Donkey Kong fell on his head and the game was over? Fuck, what happened to those? Or to get the frog over to the other side 5 times and fucking you won the game? Now there's moral ambiguity.
Moral ambiguity. And so the game ends, where you get her back to safety and she asks you the question. It's like, what happened in there? And he lies to her. He tells her, like, yeah, they just couldn't figure out a way to get the cure out. He doesn't tell her that by saving her, he's
doomed the world.
He's doomed the world to continue this sort of like endless horror. And so this second game picks up kind of where that leaves off, where there's this massive secret between these two characters.
Right.
But I mean, it's gorgeous and it's lush, and new characters come in, and lots of similar kind of moral ambiguity and hard choices, and it's the best movie I've seen in years, except it's a video game and it takes you 20 hours to get through, but it's an amazing 20 hours.
So when they do the HBO series, it'll be the first one?
It'll probably be the first one, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it was a suite of these two games stitched together into what could be 4 seasons of TV. If they want it to be. Yeah. It's dense and deep and lots of separate characters and side missions, and yeah, it's phenomenal.
Sounds like modern day Legend of Zelda there, Marc.
It's a little bit. It's the
all my
Ocarina
references
of Time.
really stopped 25, 30 years ago. Those games are too scary to me. That's where I feel like an old man when I see a game like that, where I'm like, hey, man, what am I doing? Am I jumping over something? They're like, no, you're faced with a really tough decision. I'm like,
and also, it's a horror game, so you're kind of going to get scared 5 or 6 times an hour. Where
Is that
something
right?
jumps out. Yeah, there's a lot of that thing tried to eat my head off again.
Pop culture has passed me by, man. I don't understand games like that. And it's not like I don't respect them, but I'm like, I don't know. They released that Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl game. Mm-hmm. That's my speed.
That's your speed.
Side scroller, something like that. Couple levels, you're out. Not this lifelong haunting commitment that you carry with you like fucking herpes for the rest of your life. Like
it's one of 2 games. The first Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption 2 are both like heartbreaking games to play.
Really?
Because the endings are just like sledgehammer in your soul. But I've played them more than once just to get that feeling again, just to be like, oh, just break my heart one more time. Just do it. Just let me earn it. Just let me earn this.
You got a issue. You got to talk to a professional.
I have a subscription of issues, my friend.
How long does it take to play Red Dead? What is it?
Red Dead Redemption 2, I want to say was like 30 hours, 25, 30 hours.
And so once you've solved it or done it, you would still be willing to do it again? Does it change at all along the way?
There's the level where you play the game just to go from beginning to end as quickly as you can.
Right.
And then there's a way to play the game where you're just doing everything possible. The world is huge. You can go almost anywhere. I'm going to go hunting this month and just fucking kill a bunch of deer and then cook it over a fire and whatever. Like there's
And that's the game?
That's part of the game. If you go off the main narrative path, you can just like do all kinds of shit. I want to play poker. Like there's an online poker version of that game that's in the game.
So it's like how you and me were on Gary Whitta's Animal Talking Show in the middle of a game?
Totally. Where there's just people who like, maybe I'll stop by this island. What's happening? Oh, there's a talk show. I'll watch the talk show for an hour.
Do you remember what was all so simple as going in the one door on Pac-Man and coming out the other side of the screen, Mark? Linear.
Yeah,
Simple.
I'm gonna be in this little ship here, and there's a bunch of asteroids, and I'm gonna shoot the asteroids until there are no more
These
asteroids.
other games scare me. So you spent time. Do you play solo?
Yeah, this game specifically, there's no multiplayer in this game. It's just you and the game. You know,
Would people watch, like, you know how there are people watch on Twitch, people playing games? Would someone watch someone play a game like this?
I don't think so, because there's enough sort of cutscene narrative stuff in the middle there where everybody who plays it can watch it. It's not like watching. You can't do that better than anybody else.
Right.
And there's kind of deep, we're just dropping into story here, and it's basically watching a movie. But yeah, I suppose that there are there are walkthrough videos, because in case you get stuck and you're like, I don't know how to beat this level, or I don't know where to go. So you can watch people play it to get better at it. But I think the speed through, how fast can this dude kill Contra, is not a thing I think people are doing for this. But I might be wrong, because the internet, everything that could happen was
everything could be cucked, man.
Yeah, was a Rule 67 or something. Like, if you can think of it on the internet, somebody's done it.
No doubt.
No doubt. But yeah, it's a fantastic game, but it's also been a good game to sort of lose myself into a little bit as the world continues to spiral into...
It does. Things have not gotten better in the 7 days since we've done this show.
No, they in fact have gotten markedly worse.
A lot. So much so that, it's crazy that we're still should we go out and do a show?
Yeah.
The world, particularly California, is on fire right now.
But yeah, there's been the general global pandemic and the California pandemic and the U.S. insanity. But then there's also been personal tragedies that, we'll kind of get into at the tail end of the show. That have just kind of knocked, I think, at the very least, the nerd community for a bit of a loop.
Right.
But before that,
we should hit the news.
We can hit some fucking news.
That's why you tune into this fucking show, because you're like, in this age of up-to-the-minute internet news, I don't know what's going on this week. So you know who does? These two guys. You know how they figured it out? Because they put their nose to the grindstone. They looked up the shit that happened between last week and this week, man. Newsman Marc Bernard, he pulled some news for you. Give it up for Marc. He's got the news. Go, Marc. I got some news. Yeah, you want it before we dive in the news?
Okay, we got a birthday message?
greeting. Yeah, one of our Smod squad, Evie. It's Evie's birthday, man.
Oh, hey.
You got Evie's photo we could throw up there? Look at that.
That is mostly cat.
That is Evie, and Evie's human. I don't know that lady's name. Evie's the cat. No, Evie's the lady, and that's Evie's cat. Happy birthday, Evie, from me and Marc, and the rest of the Smod squad, from JC, from Andrew, from Deacon, from the ghosts of Scum and Villainy.
From Harley Quinn. From everybody here.
Everybody. All right, into the news?
Into the news.
Shall we?
Little follow-up from last week.
Okay. Follow up.
Follow up. Did you ever watch The Old Guard after we had Greg
I did.
Rucka? You were not alone, because it turns out that The Old Guard
I was alone when I watched it. What the fuck do you know?
Well, I can't speak for your house. The Old Guard has easily become one of the streamer's top 10 most popular movies.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Came from a comic book.
Came from a comic book. It was viewed by 72 million households in the first week.
Wow.
Wow. To put that into some perspective, if each of those households had just one person in it, and that person went to the movies to buy a ticket to see Old Guard.
And say that ticket was $10.
Say that's it. Well, I did it at $12.50.
Okay.
That's how this math is going to work. Then it would have made $864 million at the box office in the first week.
In the opening week.
Which is fucking
incredible.
bonkers. It's incredible.
Why would anyone make a movie for the movie theaters anymore, man? When you could just hit all those people at once without spending all they spent all the money on the production, very little to nothing on advertising.
Yeah, and maybe some of it's the perfect storm in which people aren't distracted
Let's
by
be
the
honest.
movies.
You got Charlize Theron. She's running around with an axe and shit. Even if this was a normal year and people were out at the beach right now, that would still be getting killer views.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix's top 10.
They have a list?
They have a list. of their highest watched movies.
Start from 10 and go up.
I'll start from 10 and go up.
Yeah, from
10
the bottom to the top.
is The Platform, which I've never heard of.
I
No,
watched
did.
that.
Did
Yeah,
you?
the
I've heard
sci-fi
it, never
movie,
watched
man,
it
with the
yet.
jail.
Right.
That's the 10th most watched
56 million households have seen
movie
Yeah.
of Netflix original. What's the
Netflix
category?
originals. Yeah. Yep. Netflix's top 10 picks that they have produced and or
Okay.
distributed for Netflix originals.
Okay, so the platform is number 10. Wow.
The
it's impressive.
Wrong Missy.
The David Spade movie
I'll take your word for it.
is number 9.
Number 9. Triple Frontier. Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, number 8.
Number 8, 63 million. The Irishman. You've heard of that picture?
A bunch of newcomers, right?
Yeah.
Youngsters?
Yeah, directed by a first timer.
Yeah.
At 64 million. The Old Guard at 72 million.
So wait, the Old Guard is what number in the list?
I believe that is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we have 4 left or
5 left.
5 left. Okay, good.
Yes. Murder Mystery.
Wait, that's an Adam Sandler,
That's an
Jennifer
Adam Sandler
Aniston
jam.
joint.
83 million.
How much?
83 million households. Tied for that, 6 Underground, starring Ryan Reynolds, directed by Michael Bay.
Oh yeah,
Another
I didn't see
83
that.
million households. Spencer Confidential,
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, 85 million households. Bird Box, Sandy Bullock,
Sandy Bullock, which they're sequelizing, right?
89 million households. And Extraction with Thor himself.
Is the number 1?
99 million households
Wow, man.
have viewed that movie.
And that was directed not by Martin Scorsese or Michael Bay, but by
Sam Hargrave.
the stunt coordinator on the
Marvel.
Avengers movies,
Yeah.
right?
Like he's part of the Agbo outfit. And
See, don't let anybody ever tell you, you got to go to film school, you got to do this, you got to do that. This man came up, not this man, Mark
Yeah, I
Bernard,
did.
but this man we're talking about came
me.
up through stunts, presumably,
yeah,
right?
stunts, fight coordination,
Eventually
fight choreography.
aggregated up to the
Second
fight
unit.
coordinator and then second unit, and now has directed the biggest fucking Netflix movie, most watched Netflix movie of all time. It's mind-bending. Kids, the future is wide open.
Indeed.
There is no right or wrong way. Well, there's a wrong way.
There's lots of wrong ways, but there's also not
Don't
one
be a
specific
dick
right way.
getting there. But
Pretty much. And then Netflix announced today that they are in business with the Russo brothers again.
saw that.
This time for a film called The Gray Man.
They're giving them every dollar ever made.
$200 million plus, the highest budget ever for a Netflix movie.
Wow.
And it's going to star Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, and it's an espionage thriller. But yeah, they're not fucking around.
No, they got all the money. And why not give it to those people? Think about it. We love the Russo brothers. We love Chris Evans, especially today. Is that
Yeah.
one of the stories or no?
That isn't, but we can talk about
It's
it.
adorable, man. Some little kid named Bridger. His little sister was about to be bitten by a German Shepherd, and the kid put himself between his little kid sister and the German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd went at him, apparently at his
Like
face.
90 stitches or something like that.
92 stitches or something ridiculous. And, Chris Evans sent him a fucking video, and there's the kid dressed like Captain America with a Captain America mask on. And Captain America himself is just like, pal, you're a hero. That's what you are. Like, oh my God.
It's like, I'm going to look up your address, pal, and I'm going to send you an authentic Captain America shield. Because that's what you are. You're a hero. Hats off to you.
Pretty amazing.
Fucking salutes the kid, and the kid's like, I don't know if he can.
Kid's like, that looks like the dude from Knives Out.
Why is Captain America's dad
Where's
calling
his
me?
sweater? It was adorable. So he's in the movie. We all like him.
Yeah, Ryan
Gosling's in the movie. We all like him. That's a win-win across the boards. And they're saying that they want it to be like a spy franchise for them, like their James Bond.
Yeah, there's a couple of novels apparently that's the source material. The Russos wrote it with a polish from Marcus and McFeely because those guys know what they're about. They
I'm
know how
sad
do
to
that
see
shit.
Marcus and McFeely and the Russo brothers not doing it in the Marvel universe, but I'm happy for him. I'll watch the fuck out of this, but I just wish everyone was, wearing a fucking symbol on their chest and a cape and a mask. That's all I'm saying. Those guys were good with those toys.
Hear me out. Shoot the movie once your way,
And then do like one of them black and white cuts, but instead it's the Marvel cut.
just costumes. Like, is that who the fuck is like Gosling gonna play?
Makes no sense, but
Sure.
Kevin Feige produced it, so I'm good. This will be their first Feige-less joint all together, right?
As directors, yeah.
And with Marcus
Evans.
McFeely, that whole team right there.
Yeah. But exciting, and they've always like their studio, Agbo, has always claimed to be sort of platform agnostic. Like they would go anywhere. They don't have a deal set up anywhere. They have independent financing. It's like, yeah, we can play with Netflix. We can go and do this thing over here at Fox. We can go do Assassination Nation. Was that the movie that they produced?
With Deadly Class? That was a TV show they did. Did they produce Assassination Nation?
I think they did, yeah.
It's a wonderful flick.
I didn't see it.
I really enjoyed it. Well done. It's about the guy that does Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name's kid? Which nobody's kid ever wants to hear that, but he's a director. I think he's Barry Levinson's kid. Sam Levinson?
I believe you're right.
Yeah, I liked Assassination Nation. They had something to do with that?
Yeah, they produced that.
Good for them. That's a classy flick.
Yeah, so they're getting out there, and $200 million.
Hot take, ready?
Yeah.
Get ready for this, Internet. Get ready to write your fucking articles and shit like that. I'm going to watch this.
Kevin Smith going to watch The Gray Man.
Dropping that mic. I like all the people involved. I'm all for it.
But yeah, and so
when is it on? Next week?
Pretty much
Better be.
Thursday.
Run out of shit to watch. Thursday.
We had talked a while back about the likelihood of movies like Black Widow or Mulan or The Eternals or whatever going straight to Disney Plus.
Yes. The unlikelihood.
The unlikelihood of that happening. And at least my theory had always been there's a price point at which it no longer makes sense to go straight to streaming, where like you literally need asses and seats to be able to recoup that level of expenditure.
True this.
But if Netflix is going to spend $200 million on a movie, that's above that threshold in my head. My head was always like 120. You spend more than $120 million, you have to go theatrical in order to clear all of the ways you need to clear. But apparently not.
No. Look at their top 10.
Yeah.
Like, it proves them right every step of the way. Just fucking spend. You put the right people in it because, they've got the algorithm. They know what everybody loves. They know that, like, movies with fucking Ryan Gosling get watched. Movies with Chris Evans get watched. They know that the Russo brothers are cats they want to be in business with. And all makes sense. Like, throw a bunch of money at it because all they needed to do is translate to a bunch of people not just subscribing but staying subscribed. That's like management. That's managing your fucking audience by going like, look, man, we're not cheaping out. Look at this shit.
Yeah, there must be math that makes sense to them that says, you know what? Sure, we're not converting each view into dollars, but the subscriptions and the subscriber rate continues to go up. Our retention rate is insanely high. We're not losing customers. And so, all right, sure, it's the same. HBO worked the same way. Like, you didn't pay more for Game of Thrones than you paid for everything else you're already paying for HBO.
Right.
But it worked for them. Like,
and it brought in a fuck ton of new people.
Brought in a fuck ton of new people.
People were like, boobies and dragons. Like, that's not the name of the show.
Is that what you said to Lena Headey? Like, I really enjoyed your Boobies and Dragons show.
My God, that Boobies and Dragons show. She's like, do you mean Game of Thrones? She said, you're wretched.
What wretched take is that? Also a cockatoo.
What else? What else we got? How's the strawberry? I mean, I hate for this to become a commercial, but I was so curious. How's Marc fucks around with the non-beer beer? What is it?
I do. It's Bud Light's like seltzer shit, and so JC's got some left in the bar.
Every week I go like, I wonder if I want one, and I don't do it. I just drink straight water.
Yeah.
But
the strawberry, not so good.
Is that right?
It's too sweet.
I mean, well, this went from quasi-commercial to anti-commercial.
Yeah, don't do this.
Don't drink this. Tastes like fucking swill.
Yeah.
What is it competing? Is the strawberry compete? Does it taste like beer or alcohol at all?
Not at all. Basically, it tastes like.
So it's hidden. It's hidden like they can hide the caffeine in a bathtub. I learned that. On
it's
Dateline.
murder seltzer.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna find yourself bathing in that and shit. People will be like, "How'd he die?" Murder seltzer.
Murders.
Strawberry scented.
My name is Lester Holt. True crime.
Question mark. What is what?
It tastes like it's like fucking Sprite a little bit with a flavor. It's like the fucking pepper. It's strawberry Perrier.
Is it really?
Yeah. Except
But it has 100 calories.
because there's sugar in it because of the taste
the booze.
and because of the booze. Because booze is actually just sugar, unless it's vodka, in which case it's potato, and also sugar.
Welcome to Analyzing Booze Beyond. I'm Kevin.
Yeah,
Marc.
shitty booze with Marc and Kev. So yes, if you're,
Faulty, shitty. There goes our potential Bud Light sponsorship.
I will say, if you're in the Bud Light seltzer aisle and you have a choice, don't choose strawberry.
Oh my God. This is some kind of genius anti-commercial. I'm sure of it.
Black cherry is the move. If you're gonna do it, do the black cherry.
There you go. He's got a favorite.
I got a favorite, but strawberry, it's cloying. That's my one wine word. It's cloying.
He's trying too hard.
I know.
All right.
And more news. Hey.
More news. Back to the news.
Back to all the news that's fit to copy and paste. Dave Filoni.
Oh, we love him.
We love him.
Yeah, fucking. Without him, you don't get like Baby Yodas and stuff.
You don't at all. He is back in the animation world
Yeah.
for Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
These are all the clones, right?
Yes, the series follows.
All voiced by D. Bradley Baker.
Really?
He plays all of those clones.
That feels like some kind of scam.
I mean, good for him,
Like,
man.
listen, I will voice one character, but you
Well,
want me to voice
in
two?
animation world, we know you voice when you get paid to do a gig. Generally, and I guess it's maybe a scale gig or whatever the fuck, or the standard rate. You get paid to do the voice and a spare voice. So, like, even the people who work on our show, you'll have them be like, all right, here's your main dialogue. And then Colette, who's our voice director, is like, I need some Walla in the crowd. Can you give me, say, like, Eternia? And, like, so people who play main characters are also throwing in a secondary voice. So, 5 in the Bad Batch, I think.
Yeah, but he should get paid 5 times, though.
Well, that's true, because it's 5 main parts. It's not him doing a main part and some Walla.
And then, like, the cabbage merchant in the corner who's like, oh, that's a nice, tasty cabbage.
Let me tell you, this dude's so fucking talented. He can pull them all off. I watched this man do the voice of a monster, like, brah, I'm doing it. And I sound ridiculous. He did it, and I swear to you, it was insane how realistic it sounded like. And I kept looking for like a reverb tool or like fucking I'm Batman, like kind of thing. And it was a man literally doing it with his vocal cords. It was astounding. So if he could do that, he could fucking, and he's already done this. He's voiced these characters before. He'll continue doing it. But you're right. Pay him 5 times. The problem with that, Marc, is it's Disney and they don't have any money whatsoever.
No, I can't imagine how they would scrape that together. I remember having Phil Lamar behind the booth with me for a FatMan Beyond, and it's not only is it amazing that a dude can have that many voices in him, but he can, at the drop of a dime, give you that voice that he did 10 years ago. It's like, hey man, what's Jon Stewart sound like? And he'll dig right into that voice. It's like, how do you do that? Like, I get it if that's your job for like 6 months, and so every day you show up and you got to be Jon Stewart, but that was a long time ago.
And still he can whip it out.
And he's just fucking got it.
He's I don't know if they announced.
Or not. He's
I've seen him recently.
Have you now?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear.
I've heard him a lot more recently. And then we'll just leave it at that.
And scene.
What else we got?
So yeah, Dave Filoni, The Bad Batch. It's going to premiere in 2021, which means that they have already been at work on it for a while.
That's true.
As we know how
Great
long.
time to be doing animation.
Indeed. As long as you got time, we got the beer.
Miller beer. Certainly not Bud.
No.
Bud Light Seltzer.
Not so much with that. But elsewhere in the Disney Plus universe, while that was good news, we have a little bit of bad news.
No.
We do.
Come on, it's Friday. We don't need any more bad news.
Sorry, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to take a little longer to come to your screens.
Why? Because of COVID?
Yeah.
Fuck! Fuck this dreaded disease! There, I finally said it.
Yeah, we're come out in favor of fucking the shredded disease.
Man, come on. I was looking forward. What about WandaVision?
WandaVision seems to still be on track.
Is
but
that before?
after?
Fuck!
Yeah. It was a globetrotting series that production had stopped in March. They were in like Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico had some like historic earthquakes. They had to pause filming there. They were supposed to go back to Europe for some more production. All of it got shut down because of COVID. So there's no way they're going to make their projected August release date.
Mark, we know this is our happy place. Why are they denying us our happy place?
Because sometimes bad things happen.
Wear a mask.
Would you please?
Wash your hands so I can watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier when I'm supposed to. God damn it.
Yeah. I mean, I think judging by how production is beginning to ramp back up overseas in Europe and Prague and Spain and
Yeah, isn't the Batman going back to work?
Batman's going back to work in London. There's, Carnival Row, the second season had stopped production for a while, and they're about to heat back up again in Prague. Like, because Europe kind of figured out what to do with COVID. Like, they had it bad in the beginning, and then they're like, oh, it turns out if we just shut everything down and pay everybody to stay home, nobody will want to leave their house and restart the economy.
Good idea. Let's try that here.
Turns out, most other first world nations have figured this out. And so they get to go back to work, and they get to have live sports again.
The story was bad enough when it was like Falcon and Winter Soldier delayed. Now you got to lay this other shit on how we're not Europe to either. It's like, I know.
Yes, we're not Europe.
All right, so that's going to be delayed.
That's going to be delayed.
Fuck a doodle, dude. That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, we will get The Mandalorian Season 2 in
Yeah!
October.
When's that?
October.
For sure?
Yeah,
We know that?
we do.
Spoilers?
Yes, it's on
No
track
spoilers?
for an October release
Woohoo!
because
Woohoo!
they shot everything and they wrapped production. And so,
Woohoo!
Mando.
Well, that's good news.
That is good news. But less so good with the Falcon and Winter Soldier because I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. One of my
Alas.
Marvel series. Honestly, WandaVision's the one I'm really looking forward to. That looks, I bet you that's a mind fuck.
It looks trippy as hell.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. And I like them both. I think they're both good together. And I was sad when she lost her boyfriend, her love.
Yeah.
I like, and if it's what I think it is, where she's just like psychotically bringing him back to life and shit, I'm fucking in. That'll be heartbreaking, funny and heartbreaking.
I mean, I wonder if there's a world in which, did you ever read House of M? In the comics?
Yeah.
Where
They're doing a version of that.
they could if they wanted to. And I'm not giving anything away. I don't know anything from anything. But House of M was sort of responsible for culling the mutant population.
That was when she was
within
like,
the books.
no more mutants.
And just like, basically it's, hey, look, we're back to fucking the X-Men again.
Right.
The OG X-Men. There was a world in which, a being of that unlimited cosmic power could also say, wouldn't mutants be cool?
Yeah, or lots more mutants.
I'd like mutants, please. And like, oh, hey, now there's mutants in the Marvel Universe that hadn't been before. Like, if you needed a way to introduce them, that's a perfectly good way to do so.
Remember in Infinity War after the snap and everybody's disappearing and she's holding Vision and then she turns to dust and shit? She almost looks relieved to be fucking dying. Because she's like, she fucking loved that robot so much.
Yeah.
I look forward. I think that series is going to be fantastic.
As am I. Black Adam is still a movie that they're making, the DC,
That's
starring
right.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, he used to be a Shazam bad guy, but he turned into sort of anti-hero.
He did. There was some level of redemption. And I'm sure that whatever version that The Rock is starring in, he's not going to be straight up bad guy.
No, he'll be an anti-hero for sure. Is it, will they tie in Shazam or no? Did you hear me go, I'll fucking Shazam? I'll be heading to the prom after we're done with this broadcast.
It's time to change.
You've got to rearrange.
Yes, you and Johnny Bravo are going to go on tour any minute now.
Sha-la-la-la-la.
I don't know if Captain Marvel / Shazam is going to be a part of it. I would hope so, simply because why you wouldn't cross over those two characters, given the very basic DNA that crosses them over. But they did cast an Atom Smasher.
Yes. The
Yeah.
young lad who at one point was attached to be He-Man.
Was was? That's right.
Noah Centineo, is that his name?
Centineo.
Centineo. He was attached to be He-Man.
The live action
I don't know where that stands now, but Atom Smasher. Did we ever see him before in anything? Have they ever
I don't
done
believe
him?
we have. I mean,
Never in a CW show or anything?
No, I think he was in Justice League, the animated series. I think we got a taste of Atom Smasher there, but never any
He
live
can get
action.
big, right?
He can get big. He can rearrange his matter at will, manipulate his size, strength, and durability.
Got a creepy mask, too.
Yeah.
You tell you right now, that kid's too pretty. They ain't going to put no mask on him that whole movie.
It's going to be like, the very
The
last
mask
scene.
is going to be like a David Bowie fucking lightning stripe painted on his face. They're like, why would we cover up that money? That's the boy from All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Yes,
To All the Boys I've
to all
Loved
the boys I loved before. Or they'll just put one little atom across his face there.
There it is.
It's like, look, he's smashing. Smashing. darling.
Atom Smasher.
But yeah,
How'd
production.
you like to smash atoms with me?
How'd you like to
Everybody's
smash the atom
Men
smasher?
and women alike are like, yes.
Done. Where do I sign up?
Weird character to include in. If you'd put a gun to my head and said, "You name one fucking other hero gonna be in a Black Adam movie," I'd be like, "I don't know, Shazam." Never would I have picked.
I will
Adam.
give you 78 guesses.
I would never.
No.
Never hit him.
Sorry. Black Racer? No.
I would have guessed him before fucking Atom Smasher.
So yes, that is supposed to go into production in early 2021.
He's been talking about that for a while. Dwayne
Yes.
Johnson,
I remember before the
artist
shutdowns
formerly
began,
known as The Rock.
he was, every time I looked at his Instagram, he is either eating an enormous amount of food, pushing his tequila brand.
We do that. How come we
do
don't
that
look
too.
like him?
I know, because we also don't do the third thing, which is work out every other fucking day.
Fuck.
Clanging and banging with the Rock.
Are you sure it's not the second thing? Maybe we need a tequila to push, and then we'll look like him. Might be that pesky third thing, eh? Damn it.
We'll just call it Denuccio tequila.
What's Denuccio?
Snooch to the nooch.
Nice.
Yeah, it sounds vaguely.
Yeah. It has an air of fun to it.
It does. Denuccio.
I don't like
Tequila.
that shit.
No, I mean, I
Taste
can't do
of
tequila.
booze.
I'm okay with booze. Tequila, I had one bad night, and that's
That was
all.
it? Forever?
Yeah.
Did you ever drink spoiled milk?
Yes.
Did you ever
I mean, I love it, but
milk or spoiled milk? What are you, like fucking alien from Alien Nation? You're like,
It's
give me
at
that
some
spoiled
point-
milk.
Oh, come here, Francisco. Give me that spoiled milk.
I'm drunk. I worked at a deli. I was telling my kid this the other day. I was like, I worked at the Galley Deli when I was 16 years old, like over the summer. And we made like breakfast sandwiches. We were open at like 5 in the morning because the fishing boats went out of there and stuff. And there was this dude named Skip, larger dude. And he every morning got like a pork roll, egg and cheese kind of sandwich. And he got a carton of Nestle Quick chocolate milk. So every day, grabs it, opens it, fucking downs half of it, and chit-chats at the counter and stuff while he's waiting for his sandwich. He fucking opens this thing, takes a big gulp, and I'll never forget. I've never tasted spoiled milk in my life, but I never will because of this guy's reaction. He was just like, "Blah!" and fucking projectile vomited right on the fucking floor, man. Dropped the carton, lumpy shit came out of it. Like, oh, it was so fucking bad. So the other day, my wife was like, your kid's so weird. She smells everything before she eats it or drinks it. I was like, that might be genetic because, like, I'm the same way, man. Even sometimes with water, I'm like, just because I never want to have that experience that old Skip had at the galley back in 1987. Fuck, I gotta get my head out of the past.
My daughter does the same thing. Well, like literally, it's a fucking chicken nugget, and she'd be like, "Look, what do you think I'm doing? Like,
Sus.
is this a big poison fucking
Sus,
test?"
dude. It's sus. It's
like-
not so much she distrusts you. It's just like she distrusts the nugget.
I guess, but I'm like, I just made that for you. That's a fucking pancake that I just made
Hey.
from scratch for you. And
Old
she's like,
Skip didn't think that Quick was trying to fuck him over, and yet he took a big gulp and he got fucked in the throat.
that's a shifty rabbit. He got fucked in the throat.
Right in the fucking throat.
So yeah, so no tequila for the Smart Empire.
I don't think so. We need something more fun. Tequila mix. Strawberry, it's like
Maybe a
strawberry
margarita
daiquiri,
mix?
strawberry margarita mix. Because I could drink the mix.
There's just no booze in there. It's
Yeah,
just
then
fucking
it just
sugar
tastes
water.
like icy.
Sugar water.
Love it.
Hey, we were talking about Netflix before. I have more Netflix news because
Fuck.
they're fucking Netflix.
They are the business.
They are making, and this makes the indie comic fan in me crazy happy, a Usagi Yojimbo animated show.
Yeah.
Stan Sakai's like long running. Like he started this thing in the fucking 80s, 1984.
The rabbit.
The Rabbit Samurai.
And they're doing, who's doing it? Somebody famous.
It's Netflix is producing it. James Wan is among the executive producers. Yeah, so fucking Dark Horse is in on that. Atomic Monster with his James Wan's company.
Did
so
you say live action?
CG.
CG.
Yeah, it would be tough for.
It's honestly like in a world where everyone's snapping up IP and shit, that's ages old, decades old,
Yeah.
well known to a point, but also like wide open to be exploited to a brand new audience. And now animation technology is caught up to the place where you're like, we can make this shit look like fucking Pixar.
Yeah,
And the dude's got decades worth of stories. Let's go to work.
for sure. And like, we haven't quite seen this before. You know, fucking rabbits who wielding swords like samurais, but
Right.
feudal Japan, like all of that, and like demons and ghosts and anthropomorphic, like it seems ready made for a cartoon. Surprised that it hasn't happened before, long before this.
Everything gets its day.
Everything gets its day. But I'm so excited for that. Simply because, like, yeah,
I think I knew about that. I think I heard within the halls of Netflix about that like months ago, and I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool. You've met Keanu Reeves, right?
I have, and most recently I interviewed him for the Bill and Ted panel that's running on Comic-Con Online next week.
Did he strike you as a comic book fan? Was that part
no,
of your interaction?
No, but like he did play Constantine,
He did.
so there's some comic book, blood in him for sure.
He's writing a comic book now.
I heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
called
Berserker.
Berserker. BRZRKR.
It's
is how
about
you spell
an
it.
ageless man
Indeed.
who hunts other men. What does he do?
It's a little
An
bit.
ageless man who loves other men. That sounds hot.
Yes.
That's a comic book? I'm in.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like one of Marc's video games. Is there a lot of moral ambiguity in it?
It's Berserker.
I'm looking for a man. What, you hunting him? Sorta.
Kinda. What are you gonna do with him? Well,
Let's just leave it at I'm looking for a man, all right? That's smart, I says to myself when I saw this earlier online. I said, this is a guy who's normally like, well, I'll go where fortunes take me, who's got a good script. This guy's like, look, man.
I
Like,
got a story I want to tell.
yeah, in a world where I'm like John fucking Wick, why can't I be Berserker?
Yeah, according to Reeves, the character was born 80,000 years ago, half man. His father's a war god. And he's battled through the ages in places of great war and conflict, even though he's immortal in a way. He also has to hide himself and pretend to die and then keep on moving on.
Fucking in.
Yeah, so it's a little bit, it seems like the Highlander's in the air.
It's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. Highlander is in the air, man.
It really is. I mean, Old Guard was sort of a take on that.
Plus, now, like, who ain't gonna be like, hey, Keanu, can we make a movie of your comic book? You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna have to schlep it around to places going like, hi, I was in Bill and Ted. Maybe you've seen my work anyway. This is a comic book.
Maybe Little Buddha was more your speed.
I don't know if you watch hockey movies, but I was in Youngblood back in the 80s.
My Own Private Idaho was a favorite.
God, he was so good in that movie. Love that movie. I drove into New York by myself to go see that movie when it opened in like,
Wow.
what, 1989? No, 1990. I want to say 2 or something like that. I saw it alone in a movie theater, except for one other, like a matinee at a movie theater, like, I forget which one it was, but it was in Manhattan. And there was one other dude in the theater, and the movie's about like gay hustlers. And so most of the movie, I kept looking up, and then every once in a while I'd look over, and the dude was like looking right at me.
Just slowly moving closer.
I kept waiting for it. I was
one
like,
seat.
interesting. I was like, well,
It's like, who's tapping my
when
shoe?
in New York at a unattended matinee,
About gay hustlers.
my own private screening.
He's doing the book through Boom, Boom Comics.
Yes.
And Boom has a first look deal with Netflix. So it seems as if there's going to be a movie of a thing.
You better believe
And
it.
Keanu has already stated that he'd kind of like to play this character who is drawn in the book to look just like him.
Just like him. The cover of the book, it's like it's Keanu himself.
Yeah. So,
Wow. What Boom. How happy is Boom right now?
yeah.
Holy fuck.
They had their deal at Fox, and Fox sort of went away, and then they ended up at Netflix, and then they got fucking Keanu writing a comic book for them. They'll do fine.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
They'll do okay.
Good for them. Good for Keanu. Good for us. Sounds like we'll get another Keanu thing. Something his heart will really be into because it's his.
It will be.
It's
and
his.
He did say that he has been a comic book fan as a young kid.
Huh.
It's like, oh man, I'd love to play Wolverine, he said as a young kid. And then everybody's like, yes, we would like that too.
Did he say that?
He did say that.
Yeah, he could do it now.
He could. The ageless Keanu Reeves.
I mean, kind of. And also, it's just like redefine what Wolverine is at that point.
No reason you can't catch Wolverine later in life.
Do you think if they made him Keanu Reeves, that Hugh Jackman would be like, well, I mean, could have just stuck with me.
I mean, I know I did the last story, but
Yeah,
that's,
I was old Wolverine. You got another old Wolverine? I mean, it's your world. Do what you want. I just think it's weird.
I know. I mean, you can, if you need him to be young Wolverine, give me some of that fucking Scorsese magic and make me young again.
And also, it's like, he don't have to be dead. You know, Wolverine, he heals. So the first shot of the movie is my hand comes up from the earth and go on from there.
And that was also in some distant future. It's like, whatever. It's fucking, we're good now.
What else we got?
DC, were you as much a fan of these books as I was?
Which ones?
Marvel had the official handbook to the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
And DC had Who's Who.
Oh, who's who in the DC universe?
Who's
I've
who
got
in the
the
DC universe.
binders still with
Yeah.
the loose leaf version they
I
did.
remember
one
that,
year.
which is so fucking smart.
And they sold them out of, it wasn't even, here's all the A's, here's all the B's. They were all mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't just pick like, oh, I'll just get the Batman one and stuff. But the
Nope.
Batman one was a big deal. The Batman page was drawn by none other than Norm Breyfogle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I spent long hours between the Marvel Universe and the DC Who's Who, of just literally just reading shit.
Honestly, sometimes it was more entertaining than the stories, just all the character backstories, the things they could do. Like I remember the official, Marvel handbook, what was it called?
The
Marvel
official
Universe.
handbook to the Marvel Universe.
The one where they talked about Bullseye, where like he could kill with a paper clip, shit like that, where you're like,
Yeah, just the the powers and special abilities section was always like, tell me how this works.
Yeah.
And it was just like, as a D&D kid, a nerd who's just like, okay, let's talk about power classes. I'm pretty sure that Captain America and Batman, like Captain America's got the edge on Batman because he's actually a super soldier where Batman's just rich. Like he's Olympic level for certain, but he's not superhuman level.
that's true. But Batman's got a broken heart, and that'll take you a long way.
But DC is finally releasing Who's Who omnibuses. Like the big ass fucking
They're gonna put
hardcover.
that fucking big book, the
Yeah.
absolute versions.
Volume 1 is 1,328 pages long.
That's a book worth owning. That's a coffee table book right there.
For shit, yeah. So it's, let's see, illustrated by a wide range of top
That's
artists
it.
in the
It's like
Golden
all
Age.
of the greatest talent of the last 30 years, probably.
And so the volume 1 will, it's clearly they're going to have to do more than this, but it'll collect Who's Who, the definitive directory of the DC Universe 1 through 26, the Who's Who update in 1987, another update from 1988, then material from Action Comics Annual number 2, Batman, and it's just this list of awesome shit.
Sold!
Sold. $150 for the almost 1,300.
Why I'd have paid double.
You might have to anyway.
Yeah, I know.
But April 2021.
I'm in. God, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
An idea whose time has come. So smart.
This is, I think, just this past week was the 20th anniversary of X-Men the movie.
The first one?
The first one.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And nobody celebrated it.
Well, it's a weird time.
It is.
But yeah, 2000 that movie came out.
Wow, man.
And very much set us on the path to where we are
Kevin
now.
Feige worked on it.
Kevin Feige was an associate producer.
One of the first Stan Lee cameos.
And we had didn't Tom
Tom.
DeSanto came and told us how he negotiated that story.
Yeah.
Dig into if this was a comic book, it would have a little box that says like
Ed-
see issue 202.
It was the Stan Memorial.
Yes.
When we did the Stan Memorial, Tom got up, told the great story.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Blade had come before it.
Or as what did Marc call it? A Viking funeral for a Jewish legend. So eloquently put.
But yeah, without X-Men, you don't get the Marvel Universe as we know it. You
true.
don't get the sort of the arms race between Marvel and DC. Everybody and their grandmother wanting to have a superhero universe to build a massive continuity machine out of. Like, there had been comic book movies before that, for certain. I mean, Superman, clearly.
Batman. Spider-Man.
Well,
No, that's
Spider-Man's
right. This is
after.
pre-Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. You got Blade before then. You got the Turtles movie before
Blade
then.
makes Marvel viable for the first time.
Yeah.
Prior to Blade, Marvel can't buy a hit.
No.
Then
That
there's
Punisher
Blade,
movie before then, which nobody cared
Dolph
about.
Lundgren.
Yeah.
Right? There's Blade and then X-Men, and suddenly people are like, ooh. And X-Men Blade was super fucking surprising, but didn't necessarily play like a comic book movie.
Right.
Could have been just a vampire flick.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men was surprising because even Fox didn't think it was going to be anything. And it showed that, hey man, 10 years of watching those fucking cartoons built an audience. Like, they know who these characters are and shit.
Yeah, it's like, if you give them like the casting pretty well. I mean, yes, Patrick Stewart seems born to play Professor X, but Hugh Jackman as Logan was like mad controversial at the time. Like, look, he's too tall.
It wasn't even supposed to be him. It was Dougray Scott,
Yeah.
originally cast, and then Tom Cruise wouldn't let him out of a Mission Impossible movie, and so they had to cast their second guy, and that was Hugh Jackman.
the unknown Australian actor. That was his
Song and dance man.
That was his first big break. And, you know, fans were like, he should be like Bob Hoskins. He should be fucking short and hairy.
The fans in Boston were like that.
I don't know why. They're all from Brockton.
and Vermont and Maine.
Brockton, Mass. He should be short and fucking hairy.
That ain't Dr. Xavier.
He ought to be fucking younger. That guy's never spent more.
That's Captain Picard.
What's Pickard doing in there? That
Pickard.
fucking guy.
Number one. Get it?
Yeah, Gene Pickard. That's not my fucking Professor X.
Pickard.
But yeah, and so without that movie, we don't get where we are today. So, you know, fucking raise a glass to the X-Men.
Just perhaps not the director.
No, less him. I feel like we should all treat the same way that Rami Malek treated Bryan Singer when he won an Oscar for Bohemian Rhapsody, was never mention that guy's name.
What else we got going on?
Well, the last bit is the not particularly good bit.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Brace yourselves, kids.
Brace yourselves. If you are,
Is this news or personal?
this is both.
Is it really?
It is both. A fella who I'm not going to say I was like close friends with, but I knew him relatively well. I would see him twice a year. Grant Imahara.
Yes.
Who was, you probably, if you know him best as the
Mythbusters,
co-host of Mythbusters for a bunch of years, and then the White Rabbit Project, which was basically Mythbusters with all the original hosts. He then took to Netflix. But he had been sort of a staple in the nerd world as basically the nicest guy you've ever met. I was talking to JC before, and he was like, yeah, he was like everybody's best friend and treated you like he was your best friend, even if you've only met him once.
He was a bar regular, JC?
Yeah, he was here a bunch. Like, you just find him here, you know, once a month, twice a month. And everybody who hung out here was a friend of his. So he was here in spirit, even if he wasn't physically here.
But yeah, like I would run into it and at parties at Comic-Con, and it was always like, hey, Marc, how you doing? What's happening? What's going on? Like, he wanted to know a lot about what you were up to, even if you only ever saw him once a year.
Right.
He was always incredibly warm and incredibly open and super fucking excited to do what he does. I mean, he was a robotics fucking kid growing up. He was an electronic engineer growing up. He ended up at ILM. And like he built models for Star Wars and helped design, you know, much of what you saw in the prequels. The last thing that I saw him work on was a like life-size Baby Yoda that he fucking built in his lab that's gorgeous and wonderful and does all the motion and the moving. He built Baby Yoda.
Holy shit.
Because he's that guy who just likes to build that shit.
He built it to bring to children's hospitals because he had built a BB-8, and then they realized that BB-8 rolls all over the floor, and kids go and hug BB-8, and it's full of garbage
Germs
from the
and-
floor
yeah.
and germs. So Baby Yoda was to bring to children's hospitals.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah. But in his years at ILM, he was a chief model maker, specializing in animatronics, and he worked on the prequels, Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, Galaxy
Wow.
Quest, Van Helsing, Lost World, Jurassic Park, AI, and Terminator 3,
Wow.
among other things. And so he died at 49 of
How?
a brain aneurysm.
Jesus.
Just like the healthiest guy in the world. You know, like last time I saw him, he was heading off to vacation in Hawaii, and just bolt from the blue for no good reason. There's no rhyme or there's nothing he did wrong, and nothing that he could have prevented. Just one morning, didn't happen.
God damn it.
So, yeah, like I didn't know him terribly well. Liked him every time I saw him, but I have a bunch of friends who knew him very well, and so it was just the latest entry in the log of the shittiest year on record. Of like, really,
A why him kind of thing.
a why him kind of thing. Like of all the people this could have happened to. Not that you wish ill on anybody. Anybody's more than others, but like that dude seemed destined to live a long, happy life and making other people happy in the process. But 'twas not to be. So while we're raising a glass to X-Men, let's also raise a glass to Grant Imahara, who left us far too soon and left far too many people who loved him in his wake.
To all the people that loved him and to his family and anyone who's ever touched by the man's work, man, our heart goes out to you. Fuck.
Yeah. Like I heard from a lot of friends, especially Asian friends, that he was for them, you know, a little bit what like LeVar Burton was for me, which is like, here's this Asian guy out in this business, like visible, professional nerd, you know, and like maybe that means there's space for me in this business too. And it's a devastating blow to everybody, but he was a bit of a flag to rally around.
We lost a
that community.
trailblazer, it sounds like.
We did indeed. So, yes, rest in peace.
Fuck, maybe start with that next time.
You think so?
I mean,
I
it's-
debated it. I
It's
didn't
tough
know.
to like end the show where you're like, well, what's the point? The good die young, and we're all
good die
screwed. You know what? We should go to questions.
We should take some fucking
That will put a
questions.
smile on our
That'll
faces.
pull us out of this.
JC is the proprietor of this here cantina, the Scum and Villainy Cantina. JC, what questions? He monitors our YouTube comments section, braves it each and every episode.
Sally forth, sir.
And he gets attacked for not picking your questions. So go easy on him tonight, ladies and gentlemen. JC, what do the people at home want to know?
All right. Prime Arch 359. What characters would you write a romance movie in the DC Marvel universe with? More romance, like no action scenes. It's like a rom-com. What Marvel or DC characters would you write a rom-com around?
Marvel or DC.
Marvel
and
or DC?
all the big fight scenes happen off camera.
Oh, that's my kind of movie. That's the movie I was born to make. Let's see. You got any ideas?
I got one.
Go.
Batman and Robin.
Oh. Such low-hanging fruit, but
It
such a
really
good
is.
idea.
But I would totally watch the Douglas Sirk kind of hothouse, kind of cloistered romance of this sort of middle-aged man and this. It's of gods and monsters, right? It's
You know what? In a world where they're doing that Harley Quinn cartoon where everyone curses, all bets are off. Anything's possible.
totally just give me the longing glances. Give me the call me by your name of superhero dramas with Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson living up to their names.
You're going to get a call in about fucking 2 days. Fandom is going to be like, we'd like you to not be involved.
Actually, no, we're going to scrub all that footage. Thanks.
Let's see. Who in the Marvel world? Hmm. Matt Murdock and Karen Page. I enjoyed their romance in the comics. Tough to make a rom-com out of those two. It would have to be before she went off and did porn. But yeah, I like them. Although I would say Vision and the Scarlet Witch, but they're apparently doing it right now. On the DC side, either Dick and Coriander or Dick and Babs.
All right.
Either way, Dick.
We're going to get some Dick.
You can't get a Batman romantic story going. I mean, I did a little bit in Widening Gyre, but Dick Grayson always a little bit more human, so you can kind of tell that story, and not have to worry about the problem with the Batman story is every night, literally, the dude's on patrol. But Dick Grayson, you get the impression he takes a night or two down to just be himself.
He's not that driven.
Yeah, exactly. I'm mad about my parents' death, but I'm dealing with it.
Yeah, I talked to a guy about it. But it's all good. I also think that there's absolutely, and I guess that Lois and Clark was supposed to be this.
Yeah.
But the great innovation of the Dick Donner Superman was the invention of the love triangle between two people.
True.
Between Superman, Lois, and Clark Kent. And just to play that would be kind of great. Just to play the coming out of rooms and ducking into rooms and where the hell were you, and then you get
the French bedroom farce of it all.
And you get to have Philadelphia story. You get to have news people and journalism and all of that stuff.
That's good. Yeah.
There's a lot there.
I like his answer.
And also, Scott Summers and Jean Grey and Logan. I feel like love triangles give you the most juice. And so that can be the Love Actually of the fucking Marvel universe, where here's the guy who's totally in love with a girl who's in love with another guy, and nothing is ever going to change that. But that's not going to stop Logan from wanting Jean Grey.
It's true. There's a hard on the actor playing Cyclops because he don't get to work his eyes in a rom-com.
Yeah. No, he's all.
But
he's
that's
all
something you
mouth.
play in the script where Wolverine's you could look in my eyes at least.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Jean.
And then that moment where Jean figures out that she can actually hold the beams back, which I think they did in the comics at some point.
In the movie, too. Remember, he takes, I think it's in the first one where he takes him off and she sees his eyes for 1 second. It's a really nice moment, actually.
Yeah.
Where she's because she sees into what's in the beyond the ruby quartz visor.
In the cosmic infinite of his red, freaky eyes.
God, that's a cool moment. All right, next question.
All right. This is from Coco Lozano.
Coco.
And they were wondering if you had to choose characters to be teachers in a middle school, who would they choose and what subjects would they teach?
Logan clearly teaches shop. So superhero characters are teachers in a middle school.
Vic Sage teaches journalism.
Okay. Ooh, Vandal Savage teaches history.
Oh, that's good. Ivy, of course, teaches horticulture.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Von Fries teaches chemistry.
Dick Grayson teaches gym. Peter Parker teaches photography.
Didn't he become a teacher at one point?
He does, yeah. Empire State University.
Yeah, that's right. ESU. Clark Kent is the only fucking Boy Scout headmaster you trust. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We went a lot further than I thought we would.
Oh, totally.
All right, third question.
All right, this is
Take
from
us home. Here we go.
Kirk Gibson, which apparently
What?
the hero of the 1988 World Series.
Is that a sports thing?
Yeah, it's a sports thing.
It's a baseball
It's a Dodger thing.
It's a baseball thing?
Mm-hmm. He wants to know if each of you wrote a movie for the other to direct, which genre, wrote a movie for the other to direct, which genre would it be? Who would score the music? And what is JC's role in each film? That's a little self-serving on this
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well chosen.
Just a little like chumming for the moderator there. Like, let's put JC in this.
Yeah, I know how to get this question through. Let's see. What would I write for Mark?
Genre, the score, and what does JC do?
The genre is like I know this ain't technically a genre, but I would go like in a Shyamalan direction. Okay. Because Mark always has like, and then this happens, and you're like, oh fuck, that's good. So you'd want to give him something with some twists and, you know, a hook that was you didn't see coming and stuff. A Sixth Sensian, Signsian kind of thing.
Sixth Sensian. It's hard to say.
Who would score it?
That is a good music nerd question.
Who's the guy that scored? Fuck, I just rewatched it recently, and I was like, this score just sounds like John Carpenter. Oh, Watchmen. Who scored Watchmen?
Oh, Trent Reznor.
I just rewatched it again. I'm like, this sounds like John Carpenter. It feels like right straight out of Carpenter. I'd pick him or John Carpenter.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to get a guy who sounds like John Carpenter, you might as well go to John
Might as
Carpenter. He's
fucking
still
well.
making music. And then what's the other question?
And then what does JC do?
JC is producer. Not the
Nice.
financial producer, but the guy who's getting paid to produce the movie.
Nice.
The working producer, the one without whom you don't get the movie made and shit. Not the like glorified in-name only producer who shows up, you know, when the star's on set and shit. The one who's in the trenches every day making the movie. That's who JC is.
Okay. I think for you, I'm either going kind of mad world, kind of madcap chasey thing, or like low-level heist.
Ooh, go low-level heist.
Yeah, go like
I could pull one of those off.
like the fucking like
From a porn store. It's pretty low level. Or a weed store.
or a weed store.
That makes more sense.
I was gonna go like exotic bird feathers,
Nice.
like the very
nice.
specific kind of insane. Like somebody stole Gordie Howe's winning puck for the ex Stanley Cup thing
I am in.
in like Flynn.
And it's set in Canada?
Sure.
The heist is at the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Yes.
I'm there.
Look what just happened.
You sold me a ticket. I want to see this movie that I'm going to direct.
Who does the score? I'm going to say Danny Elfman.
Nice. He passed on Dogma, so this would be good for me.
This would be good.
to close a loop where, 21 years later, I'm like, oh, not so good for this picture, are you?
Huh. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
And what does JC do? JC's the fluffer.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Look at that, man. All hands on Dick. And I don't mean Grayson. Well done, man. It's a job. I'll be honest with you. I think you're getting off better on my show. But,
I'm also going to say, not a lot of fluffing required on this, so you just get paid.
And also, to be fair, like, when you're producing the movie, you, like, literally have to work hard every day. If you're the fluffer, you just have to work to get someone hard once a day.
Yeah.
Good
Like,
trade-off.
10 minutes and you're out if you're good at it. Then you just sit in your trailer and just cry.
Yeah. You'd be like, I could have been a producer. I just wanted an easier job.
I'll never play the piano again.
I can't get the stick off my hand. The stick of betrayal.
Oh, damn spot.
That's the end of the questions.
I mean, we can do more. Do we got one more?
We can do one more.
All right, find a good one.
Find
Okay.
one where you're not referenced in the question.
This one is, what video game would Mark like to see made into a movie, and what movie would you like to see as a side-scrolling video game?
Ooh, side scrolling.
There you go.
I would like to, let me see. Well, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I'd like to play the Infinity Saga as a side scroller. Sega Genesis version. Maybe, a Super Nintendo version like the old Star Wars games.
That'd be cool.
That's what I'm looking for. What about you?
I'm tempted to say I would like a good Assassin's Creed movie. The one that we got with Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender
Not good.
and his gigantic
And his
manhood.
Yes. No. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it.
Yeah, I know.
Not like, well, because we're insiders in Hollywood. Everyone who's seen that one movie's seen it.
Pretty much. Shame? Is that it?
And there is no shame there.
No.
The real shame is that we're all not that blessed.
That's a dude who just likes showing off his dick, and I get it.
Yeah.
That would be a rough show for you to work on.
Magneto, indeed. Shit's magnetic. It's one of the poles.
Video game that hasn't been made into a movie that I'd like to see into a movie? Pitfall.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could be in that movie.
I mean, it feels like he's already done the poster. I
Kinda.
feel like I've already seen him swinging from a vine.
Yeah. He's got to jump over 3 crocodiles that all open their mouths at the same time.
Yep. It's a lot of timing, a lot of skill.
If he gets bitten by a scorpion, you hear me, 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 me.
I mean,
And he only has 20 minutes to do it.
that's it. We're out.
I'm in. I can finance
20-minute
that movie.
movie?
20-minute fucking Pitfall.
Like, how much to get The Rock for a 20-minute movie?
Ooh, but with the 20-minute Pitfall adventure, you can get 5 per movie, and so you can have 5 different stars in 5 different Pitfall adventures.
It's like Clue,
Yes.
but with Pitfall.
Yes.
It's like, here's John Hamm's Pitfall.
Yes.
Here's Scarlett Johansson's Pitfall.
I think we're on to something here. And then, like, the last one, and they all got to fucking die, except for the last one. He gets to the treasure. Or she.
Right,
Probably
Leslie
she. Let's
Jones.
be honest with it.
Yeah,
Who?
Leslie Jones.
I was going Tiffany Haddish, but yes, okay.
All
Leslie
right, fine.
Jones. Oh, you know what? Team up together.
Done.
But somebody gets there where the others don't. And so
Yeah.
you pass their corpses along the way. This is hot. Fucking Activision.
Netflix.
Call us.
Yeah.
We got to get the rights from Activision. Then, hey, Netflix. Wow.
We just can't call it Pitfall, but we could just pretty much take this idea straight to Netflix.
I know, but calling it Pitfall is the triumph. Where people are like, they took Pitfall and turned it into a movie? Like, yeah.
Barely, but yeah.
And it became the #7 most watched Netflix
100
original
million
movie
households
ever.
watched us kill Dwayne Johnson 20 minutes in.
And who's the lady who played Hera?
Oh.
Kate.
Amber Heard?
No, not Hera, not Mira. Hera from Hella, not Hera. Hella.
Oh, Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. She's one of them.
Or it's like The Rock and then like Jim J. Bullock.
No,
we
this
blew
is
all of our
Netflix, man.
We blew all of our money on The Rock.
All we have to know, you go The Rock, you go, who are in the big movies they had?
Oh,
Take one each.
Hemsworth,
There you go.
Charlize,
There you go.
Mark Wahlberg.
There you go. This movie's awfully white.
I know, we need one black person.
Or more.
Well, if we're only doing 5 and it's 20 minutes, we got 4 right there. Where's my list of their movies?
Who have they ever had what's their biggest black movie at Netflix? Is there any in the top 10 there?
Irishman? No. But I never saw Triple Frontier. I bet you there's a black dude in there. You could get Mahershala Ali.
Why don't we
Extraction.
just go for
Birdman.
Idris Elba?
Fuck yeah.
Right? He
Let's
makes
get
everything
Idris.
better.
Denzel. Let's get fucking Denzel. Let's kill Denzel in the forest.
He's no, don't kill him. He gets
He's
to
the
the
one.
end. He's like, all right, we're gonna do this, and he gets there.
The alligator didn't land on us. We landed on that alligator. Don't you ever in your entire life think that I won't get over this fucking hole.
That alligator joke is fantastic because it's true. You do land on the alligator. There it is. We've answered 4 of 3 questions. That's how serious we take our jobs. Did you have a good time, ladies and gentlemen?
I did.
Yeah, I sure did, man. There's your Friday night. We're going to give it back to you. Now you're completely updated. Go wake up your loved ones if you're back east and tell them, hey, man, did you know who is being in this? Like, I forget all the stories we did, but you know what I'm talking about. Go wake people up and tell them the
There's some
Russo
news.
brothers making a movie. Go wake them up and tell them that Ryan Gosling going to be in that movie? Or wait till morning? Probably better.
Yeah, this will go down easier in the morning.
Yeah. Just like me and Mark.
Easier in the morning.
Way easier in the morning. It's been a lovely, good time hanging out with you folks, man. It's the one bright spot in a very tumultuous 2020. Being
Outstanding
able to
work.
come here, and be with friends and chit-chat about shit that matters. We can't do that without JC opening up the bar to us. Thank you, JC.
Thanks, JC. Say hi to your mother for me.
Without Andrew switching cameras. Switch the cameras 3 times, Andrew. Show them that you exist. Yeah! Look at that
Look
shit.
at that.
Somewhere a bunch of kids are just like, it's like Pokemon.
It's like
And they're
Liberace
going
on
through
the
some
keys.
spells right now. Don't forget, man, we can't do the show without an audience. And tonight's audience is Deacon. Thanks for being here, Deacon.
Hey, Brett. Thanks for
Deacon,
dropping
giving
off
it
those
up for
tickets.
himself, man. Well done. But we got no show without you guys. Thanks for watching. But there is no fucking show without the guy to my left. Give it up for Mr. Marc Bernardin.
Thank you, sir.
And that, my good friends, in the culture of pop, is FatMan Beyond for this week. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next week. Same fat time, same fat channel. Before I go,
Yo.
if you want to order movies right now anywhere in the United States, go to moviespopup.com. Goldbelly will send you a movie meal kit. You can make the whole thing at home. You can make a cow tipper at home.
Nice
My
work.
last minute commercial. Thank you. I would have.
And
I would have
also-
been driving home going, "Fuck." Go ahead.
Celebrity show off.
Celebrity show.
I've been watching at home. My wife just.
He was in
fucking-
it. Did you?
It's not on the air yet, though.
No,
right?
that's right. It goes on this week.
Yeah.
Right now, Mark is in the episode that's up on YouTube, and then on Tuesday, that will be on TBS. You're going to be on TV.
I have not seen my wife laugh as hard as she laughed at the hit or tot gun.
She liked it.
She lost her fucking shit.
That's awesome, and that's a Jersey girl right there.
Yep.
Something she always wanted to try her whole life. She's like, finally, he did it. One of us.
Somebody, if only there was pork roll in that gun too.
As long as she calls it pork roll. That's
Oh, yeah, no
A-okay.
Taylor ham.
None of
Fuck
this
that.
Taylor
Pork
ham
roll.
nonsense.
She's on the right side of that border.
Bunch of East Coast cats right now are like, yeah, finally the content I've been waiting for.
It's like, say more things that are just East Coast.
We work regional, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been edging all show. Come on.
And there it is. Mark has beat us off into the sunset. For FatMan Beyond, I've been Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com, or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
for the good of all creed.
So say we all.
It's so much better.